Hi, this is Kitty Yoni and welcome to my Yonneeverse.
Minutes drive to the caves there, and that's magnificent to explore first. Okay, there'll be a couple of things that I need to tell you as we leave, so don't go to sleep yet, I promise you. So it was a very multilingual society, and yet they had a very similar and basic spirituality that directly connected them to the land. You see, they believed it was their own ancestors that came up out of a form. They will often say is, "Good morning, grandmother," or "Thank you, grandfather," because they recognise their ancestral beings still looking after that precious resource, which is very much needed for life today. But all these ancestral beings did one other thing, and that was to pass on knowledge to the next generation. Knowledge of how to live on this land. Knowledge of what to look for in weather patterns, etc., so that they knew where to go for food and water at various times. Knowledge of what to beware of, the dangers of living on this land. And also the roles that men and women would have in society. And then it was the responsibility of each generation to gain this knowledge, understand this knowledge, and then to pass it on to the next generation. And they did this through story, song, and dance. And for thousands of years, this is how they lived. Unknown to the rest of the world, and even this land was unknown to the rest of the world. Well, in a sense, we don't know what still may be discovered. For instance, the people of south of Tasmania believe that the southwest of Tasmania, such thick bush by the way, that easily the Tasmanian tiger could still exist, even though we know the last one passed away in captivity, the last known one. Ladies and gentlemen, if I've just woken you up with that outburst, I was supposed to, because we're soon going to be where we are to be. And if you don't know why I woke you up, oh well, you missed out on the story. But anyway, let's go back. A lot of these mountain villages have spring flower festivals, but most Aussie flowers are useless. So for instance, if you see a deciduous tree, it's not Australian. We don't have any deciduous trees in Australia that are native. Most people that plant their flowers are English roses, English gardens, you see. And there are several open garden seasons where people from Australia come and look at the open gardens of the Blue Mountains. Some of these gardens are over 100 years old. And then when we drive out of the built-up area, you'll notice the flora slightly changing from the trees that we saw as we drove up the mountain to some ferns to show that temperate rainforest. But it gets even thicker down in, oh look at that bear. Oh, it's a dog. I thought it was a bear. Okay, here's my suggestions. You don't have to follow them, but you may miss out if you don't. Okay, as I said, we have about a 90-minute journey when we leave Scenic World. So why waste that time? And I reckon it's better if you get a meal from Scenic World, take away and bring it on board and eat it in that time. Okay? Now the third level of Scenic World has an a la carte restaurant, and you can order from there, but it doesn't open till 11. So I would be in line at 11 if you want to order from that restaurant. Okay? Because we're going to leave Scenic World at 11:15.
Like, I'm going to point out a few highlights as we go along, including that glass floor in the centre. As soon as we get over the edge of the cliff, that glass floor is going to become see-through, and you're going to be looking down 270 metres, or double the height of the harbour bridge, to give you an idea. If you are scared of heights, hold on to the handrails, but also know if something went wrong at this height, holding on is going to make no difference at all. It might make you feel better, so go for it. Katoomba Falls on the right-hand side, 244 metres of waterfall, second highest in the Blue Mountains. And looking back over to the valley side, second highest in the Blue Mountains. And looking back over to the valley side of the cabin, the famous Three Sisters coming into view now. Menai, Woomera and Gunnynu. Imagine the cross between a crocodile and the abominable snowman. They're not friendly, they're an Aboriginal creature, and he was trying to protect them from that. Mount Solitary is a large mountain in the middle, and if you look to the right-hand side of Solitary, on the top of that next small peak along, you can see some rocks sticking up in the bush. That's called Ruined Castle. Now the reason it's called a ruined castle is because when Europeans first got up here, they stood on these cliffs at the top and went, geez, Kev, look at that, that's a ruined castle. They walked all the way.
No, because I'm going to sit right next to you.
With our wildlife, 164 native bird species in the valley below you. You have a good chance of seeing them today. We have all the famous Australians here, so kangaroos, koalas, wallabies, platypus, wombats. They all live here in the Greater Blue Mountains. The good news is nothing in the Blue Mountains is going to eat you. The bad news is plenty of things will poison you to death. We have 8 out of the top 10 most venomous snakes in the world in the Blue Mountains. The whole top 12 are Australians. And we also have 3 of the deadliest spiders in the city.
So we're in Scenic View. We're just done our cable tour, and now we're going to the Steepest railway. 52 degrees.
Everybody, welcome back to Scenic World. passing up the stairs into the main building. Skyway and retail store is on level 1. Level 2 have the cafe. And level 3 is the Skyway. Doors are over to your left. Enjoy.
Smile, love.
That's a 52 degree, but that button down at the end there, press it down. I'll push the button, I'll use the CA.
Aray. Siyempre na. Yeah. Let's go for the cliff tower.
That will support you when we go down.
Heading up the stairs across the footbridge to access the
home of the retail store, railway and cableway, and level 3 the Skyway. Reminder to get to level 3, head outside and up the metal stairs.
So we're going to another cable. Wow!
Alright, so welcome aboard the Cableway. My name's Byron, I'm your driver taking us down into the rainforest. Any questions, feel free to ask me anything you want. And just enjoy it. It's a nice smooth ride so you can move around as much as you like. Do we have parachutes? No backup parachutes on this side, yeah. Okay, so a bit of a speed run.
앞에 보세요.
내려가자. So that on the left hand side, the three sisters.
저희가 옛날에 몇백만년 물속이라고 했잖아요. 우주의 장점이 하지만 샌드스톤 사암이에요.
But some geologists believe that the sediment dates back to about 240 to 270 million years ago. But as their formation, about 90 million years ago.
Can we get off?
Nope.
Hop off?
No, all the way down.
Oh.
That's why I asked about parachute.
Mount Solitary at the front to the left, large flat top mountain. It's called Mount Solitary. It's about 6 kilometres away, and you can camp on top of it if that's your sort of thing, but you've got to manage to do a full hour walk one way.
Oh. Think we'll get that a miss?
You don't have to. You can do some walks down here, catch the railway up. Yeah, so you can do a 10-minute walk, a 30 or a 50-minute walk to the railway. And catch it up.
You want to do a 10-minute walk to the railway?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go out to the Skyway. There it is.
On the railway. So you can either do the walk and then come back and
Yeah, there's a nice glass door in there as well.
just say
That's good. You might be able to see Katoon waterfall at the back there, guys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you do? We know which way to go to the railway.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little rundown now. Just so you know, before we dock, there might be a little bit of a bump as we get guided in. Doors on the right will open. If you exit, you'll get to a T intersection. Take a right from there, that'll give you a quick 10-minute walk to the railway. And if you take a left, that'll give you a longer 30 or 50-minute walk, which will take you further down into the rainforest and then pop you up right near the railway platform as well. The four rides do come back every 10 minutes approximately. And as it is National Park down here, you won't find any water facilities, any bathroom facilities down here as well. And of course, no smoking and put rubbish in the bins. But other than that,
내일 있을 때는 반대편 우측으로
yeah, if you want to go straight back up, that's all good. Just make sure if you're hanging around in that front space, you let customers hopping on. Have a chance. Thank you.
반대 걸어가요. 반대 걸어가요. 이거 맞게.
Pwede. Pagagandang tayo.
And then go down on the railway if you want, you know, all up to you.
There's still a few people here already for
Pwede. Magpaiwan. Ay, hindi ko na-get. Akala ko bawal.
Welcome back to the cableway. If you haven't met me, my name is Byron. I'm your driver taking us up to the main building. Now it is a nice quiet cabin, guys, so move around as much as you like. If you have any questions as well, feel free to ask. Pretty good with any relationship advice you need that, guys. Now at the front to the right, it's quite hard to see, Katoomba Waterfall. It's in shadow there, you might be able to just see a little glaze on that top shelf. And some little wisps of water. There it is. If you want a closer look at the Katoomba Waterfall, hop on the Skyway. It does look much bigger up close than where we are now. Out to the right hand side, we have the iconic three sisters, Menai, Wimala and Gunneedu. They're indigenous names from left to right, given by the Darug and Gundungurra tribes. They are the custodians of the Jamison rainforest. If you haven't met the little one on the end of the sisters, that one gets no love or recognition. So at Scenic World we call that one the little brother Kevin. So looking at the front right hand corner, we have Orphan Rock. In between Orphan Rock and the main cliffs, you see that vegetation. That's exactly where the railway line goes. So if you caught the train down, you went down a nice steep path right in between there. But Orphan Rock, it was once a famous lookout. You might be able to see some handrails on it. But in 1974, unfortunately, a landslide wiped out its natural entranceway, deeming it now too unsafe for the public to go on. I know some people who work here have been on it, but yeah, they do it after hours. Okay, a bit of a swing through these towers, guys. Put your hands up if you want the maximum effect of how crazy it is. Here we go. Ooh. How exciting was that?
Look at God's wonderful creation. It's really amazing. Thank you, Jesus. Smile.
Go.
person, come around, give someone your camera. Come behind me slowly, and everybody will get to do this. This Joey is only 2 months old. Put your hand flat, look at the camera. Okay. Next person. Give someone your camera. Walk around slowly. One person at a time, please. This Joey hasn't jumped out yet, hand flat. This Joey hasn't jumped out of the pouch yet. Hey, don't be a piggy. I've got to share, okay? Come on, girls.
Yeah.
Come on. So as you can see, they've all got babies. Now, kangaroos are perpetually pregnant. As soon as they give birth, they go on heat. They can withhold giving birth for up to 2 years. Okay, so if there's little food, little water, but when they give birth, it's only an embryo. No bottom legs are developed. Okay, mum lies under a tree, licks a path from her birth canal to the top of the pouch. She lies down. She is then helpless. That little embryo crawls up. If it falls off, 99% of the time will die. When the embryo gets to the top of the pouch, goes down to the bottom and attaches to a teat. That teat then engorges so that when mum's jumping, that baby doesn't fall off. Okay? Mums determine the sex of the baby. And for the first 80% of her birth-giving life will give birth to females. Only towards the end will give birth to males. And I think one reason for that is that when the young male joeys grow up, they've got to learn to box. And who do they practice on? So I think she's smart. Now, at about 3 months old, that joey, hello girl, where have you been? I haven't seen you for ages, have I? No, I haven't seen you for ages. When they're, yeah, you're making up for it, aren't you? No? Now, when they're about 3 months old, they'll jump out for the first time and mum will teach it its bark. That joey learns to hop back in because that's when they're at their most vulnerable. Okay? When they're about 8 months old, mum doesn't let them jump back in anymore. She can contract her pouch and you hear Joey crying for a couple of days. Okay? Because, I want to get back in. But no. When the males are about 18 months old, they will leave the mob and go look for another mob. And that is because if they get to number 1, they don't breed with their mother or sister or whatever. Look, none left. Okay, all gone. Yeah. Stop it. None left. All gone. Okay? Look, all gone. Good. Okay? All gone. That's where they could even kick me, even mums. Okay? Okay, so, look, none left. None left. Now, in the male hierarchy within a mob, they are all numbered from 1 downwards. Only 2 has the right to box number 1 to become the number 1 male. All the others box the one beside it to go up and down the order. And the boxing between 3 downwards and the rest of 3 downwards is never as fierce as that boxing match between 1 and 2. Okay? Now when they come out to graze like this, they graze in social circles. So those kangaroos down there will always come and graze together. These ones will all come and graze together, and that's why this part of this mob has got to know me. If we walked down to there, they wouldn't come to me. No, but her grandmother started it, and so we've got a couple of generations. This one is this one's child. Yeah, so, no, all gone. Okay? All right, did I promise you great photos?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
So did you tell them when you'll be back?
No, but they recognise the hat, I'm sure of it. Yeah.
You know they need
Bye, girls. Let's go, folks.